got trouble. This is gonna hurt. Oh my. Oh my. Yep.
If you've watched NASCAR for a while, then chances are you've heard of or even seen Geoffrey Bodine's horrific crash at Daytona International Speedway in the 2000 Daytona 250. But how did this happen, you may be asking? Why did Bodine hit the fence? Why did his car catch on fire? How bad was the wreck truly? Well, today I'll try to answer some of these questions to the best of my ability by describing the wreck in full detail. The year is 2000, and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series are about to kick off their season. This is also the first time that the trucks have ever raced on Daytona International Raceway, so it was sure to be a wild and wacky race. It was believed at the time the trucks were too bulky, not aerodynamic enough to warrant a restrictor plate, so no plates nor any type of restriction were put on the engines before this race. By lap 37, the trucks were already proving to be exciting and unexpected, as an accident begins in the tri-oval. Bobby Hamilton in the number 4 truck was either run over or flat out lost it, as another truck appearing to be the 99 of Kurt Busch, who is making his series debut, gets loose in the tri-oval and nearly spins out. Hamilton's truck slides up the track, nearly wrecking the 15 of Geoff Bodine, and slides back down the banking, tagging the number 41 of Randy Renfro's right rear. As Hamilton's left front tire makes contact with Renfro's right rear tire, Renfro's car jumped up in the air and hopped over the rest of Hamilton's nose. This is an important detail, which is important later. In this footage, it's difficult to tell what happens, but Renfro ends up coming back down on all 4 tires, as there wasn't enough infield left to get a good grip on his truck and throw his truck over. On laps 56 and 57, Kurt Busch, Geoff Bodine, and Rob Morgan were racing 3 wide entering the tri-oval. Just before they crossed the start-finish line, Rob Morgan in the number 46 truck came down the track, thinking he was clear of Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch makes contact with Morgan's left rear quarter panel, and Morgan spins down the racing surface and ends up hitting the number 52 of Lyndon Amick, who was trying to pass Kurt Busch from the inside. After hitting Amick, Morgan and Amick begin to head up the track directly in front of Geoff Bodine, while Kurt Busch barely squeezes through to the inside. This move will let Kurt stay in contention for the win, and he will earn a P2 finish from this race. Morgan ends up hitting Bodine in a way very similar to a wreck that happened on lap 37. Morgan's right front wheel will end up making contact with Bodine's left front wheel, causing Bodine's car to hop up into the air. When your front wheels are off the ground, you obviously can't steer the truck anymore. So since the tri-oval was curved, Bodine is on a direct path with the catch fence.
Trouble. This is gonna hurt. Oh my.
As Bodine makes contact with the outer barriers, he hits the concrete wall and a bit of the catch fencing, causing his truck to roll over onto its driver's side, but it's still riding on top of the wall. Bodine's truck could have slammed back into the track and tumbled a little bit, but Morgan and Amick are still heading up the racing surface at a rapid pace, with no control over their trucks anymore. Amick hit Bodine's left front to driver's window area, which put his front up over the wall and into the fence even more. Morgan backs into Bodine's tailgate. Remember, Bodine, like I just said, is still riding the wall, and because of these secondary impacts, Bodine's truck climbs the catch fence. Doing what the catch fence does best, it catches the truck's front clip, engine area, and windshield, throwing him around and smashing Bodine's roof windshield area into the track, ripping out the front suspension, the entire windshield and roof, and many other components under the hood. Also the entire hood. Bodine's truck on its roof is still rotating a little bit, and ends up swiping around and hitting its tailgate against the outside retaining wall, causing the rotation to stop pretty quickly. At this point, a massive fireball has come out of Bodine's truck, but this quickly extinguishes itself to a much smaller fire. As it appears on the footage, almost instantly after the fireball, the number 27 of Lonnie Rush Jr. hits Bodine's truck, which kicks Bodine into the air, and sends him into a series of barrel rolls down the front stretch. While he was barrel rolling, a group with 3 trucks behind the initial wreck appear to have lost control either from sliding in fluid or from the debris. While traveling at roughly 150 mph or greater, one of these trucks collide with Geoff Bodine's fuel tank, causing it to explode. As the fuel immediately ignited, Bodine and the other truck that hit Bodine went up in flames. I searched for a few hours and I believe that the truck that hit Bodine the second time was the number 90 of Lance Norick. However, if I am wrong, please do correct me in the comments. Bodine's truck slams back into the track on what used to be the driver's window, tumbling again, slamming what's left of the rear clip into the ground, before tumbling over the driver's window and roof one final time, coming to rest on the driver's window, surrounded by fire and on fire with the fuel tank. Bodine was unconscious and supposedly having a difficult time breathing. Once Bodine was unbuckled, he was breathing with ease again. Bodine broke his jaw, wrist, and shoulder, which makes sense if you've seen the photos of his arms hanging out of the car as he's flipping over. Bodine also had a concussion, lacerations, and many bruises all over his body. Jimmy Kitchens in the number 42 is also hospitalized, but he suffered no major injuries. 5 spectators were also injured, but none suffered any severe injuries. 3 spectators were burned by the crash, and 2 had lacerations and other injuries from the debris. A red flag status was put over the track for nearly an hour as track cleanup and catch fence repairs took place. After this wreck, NASCAR didn't implement too many changes into the sport. The main thing they added was restrictor plates to the trucks. Geoff Bodine survived the incident and even went back to auto racing when he healed fully. I hope you enjoyed this video. This will be a new series I start explaining auto racing flips. I'll mainly stick to NASCAR, but if you want to suggest a flip to me from any other auto racing series, I will do my best to summarize that one. Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and thank you guys for watching.